Welcome everybody to the second episode of Straight to the Point. My name is Daniel. I am the founder of Answers Within. Obviously, I've got a few brothers helping me in the background. Today we have a special guest, Michael from Victoria, Australia. How are you, brother? What's going on?
I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well.
Awesome, good to hear, man. So tell us bit, a bit about you.
Um, well, born and raised in Melbourne. Um, Huge animal welfare advocate, and also I've got a very strong interest in wildlife conservation.
Awesome.
Um, that all started off about 5 years ago. We'll go into that a little bit more later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but that's really where my passion lies.
Yeah.
Um, and look, I suppose the issue that I want to address. Thank you for the invite, by the way.
No,
But
of
I
course,
suppose
man.
I suppose the issue that I want to address is what can be done in terms of mental health in regards to those exposed to animal welfare, animal cruelty, and also um, those on the front line fighting wildlife crime.
Sounds very interesting, man. And enlighten me on this because I guess for me and my personal experience of hanging around with gangs and stuff like that when I was younger, I definitely saw animal welfare problems, but I never kind of identified it as animal welfare at the point, at the time because I was kind of in a welfare issue myself. You know what I mean? I was living in some weird conditions, when I was young. So just to enlighten me on kind of what animal welfare kind of looks like to you and your experience and why you're so passionate about it.
Well, look, I've always been an animal lover, even as a kid. Um, I mean, I was riding horses when I was, in my early to mid-teens. Um, and as I said, 5 years ago, things really took off with the whole animal activism agenda when I came across a quite a disturbing image of a monkey in a um, lab testing environment. Now, we all know how horrific those places are. Um, and it really got to the point where I thought, well, you know, I can't just look away. Something's got to be done about this. Something has to, you know, it's no it's no good me liking the post and then sharing it around. There's got to be something else that I can do. So then I started making contacts with initially people here in Australia, mainly up in Queensland, and from then on, um, my interest with wildlife conservation grew not only from Australia, but all the way over into Africa, in
Wow.
southern Africa. Um, both places, I've never been to South Africa. It's on my to-do list. I know plenty of people who have been, including both my parents. But that's really where things took off, and that's really where as I said, I've been involved for 5 years. I've been part of many social media campaigns banning the cruelty of animals, raising awareness of not only trophy hunting but also animal poaching. Um, and now it's just gotten to the point where we need to. Well, I feel I need to be raising the awareness of the mental health aspect of that. I've already done some of that work with the Kenyan Wildlife Service. I write up a plan for them for addressing the mental health aspect of their ranges, and got a personal thank you from the director of the Kenyan Wildlife Service,
Oh wow.
which, yeah, I mean, you can't frame that and stick it on a wall.
No, no,
Uh,
exactly.
but I really think that this is an area that needs to be explored. It's an area that needs to be talked about,
Yep.
and it's not talked about.
No, no. Well, I guess from my own experience, my my stepdad and my dad will are both into hunting. Hunting and fishing has been a big part of my life. I enjoy fishing and stuff, not so much hunting. I did a little bit when I was younger. I'd be quite curious to know, like, what's your views and perspectives on hunting as such, not poaching or anything like that, but your hunting and game, like even here in New Zealand, Australia, where you are. What's your perception on that?
When you say hunting, are you speaking about hunting for a trophy, or are you talking about
Yeah, so no,
hunting?
no, not necessarily a trophy. Obviously, that does happen a lot, especially
Yeah.
here in New Zealand with stags and deer and stuff like that. I'm more meaning like hunting, using it to eat, basically. But obviously, I would be curious to hear your perspective, on trophy hunting as well.
Look, I've got no issue with hunting per se.
Yeah,
I've got no issue with that. If you want to hunt, that's fine. Do it ethically, one shot, one kill, use the meat, bury the head, and leave it at that.
yeah, okay,
Don't, you don't, I mean, and look, there's also another thing that a lot of people, they blur the line between animal poaching and trophy hunting.
yes,
They Both of them are criminal acts, but one is done out of desperation, particularly in southern Africa. The poaching is absolutely appalling, if I can say it like that. The rate of poaching is just absolutely astonishing, and it's you know there's this ridiculous notion that, oh, we're doing it for conservation. It's got nothing to do with conservation. It's run by organized criminal groups from who are corrupt all the way down, from politicians to judges to police commissioners, and the people who are sucked in desperately want to earn some cash. They're promised all these big dollars, but they get trickled down and they get almost nothing. And
wow,
what
yeah,
happens?
yeah, that's
You know,
yeah,
and and what happens? We have rhinos that are dehorned. We have elephants that have their tusks removed. It's I could go on and on. I mean,
yeah, I bet you could.
the,
Yeah,
the
that's
canned hunting, the canned hunting industry in Southern Africa with the lions. There are lions that are specifically bred for canned hunting. Their life is locked in a cage and then released. And for what? For someone to shoot him with a high-powered rifle. Okay,
yeah,
fine. And that
that's
they don't think good. But
yeah,
that's the canned hunting industry is more it's more on the trophy side of trophy hunting side of things, where an American or a British tourist will go over to Africa, pay 10 grand, and say, "I'm going to hunt that lion," and they will.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
that's yeah.
congratulations, you've shot a majestic animal with a high-powered rifle from 20 feet away.
Yeah, that's disgusting, man. You've really opened up my mind to like obviously I'm, semi-consciously aware of the poaching side of things. You see it here and there, but you're exactly right. It's definitely a topic that I haven't heard openly spoken to until I've spoken with you today in this present moment.
Yeah,
So I guess with the whole mental health aspect of it, because obviously that's what Answers Within is about, and that's what this podcast is kind of stemming into, is men's mental health and all the rest of it. So I just want you to elaborate and express, if you want, about like the effect of all of the stuff that you've kind of shared with me so far. How it's obviously having a massive impact on your mental health and physical health by the sounds of it as well.
yeah. Look, I've there's been a few issues mentally. It really got to the point where I thought, well, you know, I'm I'm on my phone. I'm looking at, a dead rhino or elephant or lion or something with a hunter, with a huge rifle, big grin on his face. I can already see the absolute disgust on your face, but to me, it got to the point where that wouldn't affect me. Okay, another image, another image, another image, and that was an issue
Wow. So you're
because
almost desensitized to it, basically. Is that?
very much so,
Yeah.
very much
Wow.
so, and
Wow. Yeah. No, that's yeah.
yeah,
It's
that was frightening to me.
yeah. I
I'll be
bet.
honest. I mean, I would be watching. I would look at, and it's not just poaching or hunting. I'll be looking at an animal with, in a testing facility. Now, 99%, I think it's 99% of um, experiments that are done on animals then fail on humans. You know, it's very, very simple. Don't get shampoo in your eyes. It bloody well stings. That's it.
Hmm.
End of
Yeah.
end of discussion. But there will be those images as well, and I'll just scroll through. It will be like, I don't know, a real estate photo. Someone's interested in real estate, they go through their Instagram looking at the photos that have just been of all the property in their local area. It's just been sold off. That's how I was scrolling through, which was
Wow.
scary.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet. Like so,
And
with the
I
oh,
just
you
needed
go.
to really take a time out
Yeah. Yeah. I bet.
and go, look, okay, there's got to be something else done about this, which is why that's what prompted me to get in touch with um, the Kenya Wildlife Service, help out with them. Um, there's also been other organisations that I've helped out along the way with their marketing efforts, um, just because I needed that break.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's really yeah, a really interesting story. You know what I mean? Like it's something that I definitely wasn't prepared. Like I wasn't prepared. Yeah, I don't think anyone would be prepared to hear. The reality of kind of what you've delved into and the way of.
Oh,
It's very
absolutely. I mean, this is the sort of conversation that needs to be had.
yeah.
and
That's straight to
it's
the
a
point, man, and that's
and
why,
it's a
yeah,
taboo subject because depending, as Sam Toth, your previous guest, said, with child abuse and child sexual abuse, um, you'll split the room, and you'll do the same thing with trophy hunting, animal poaching, animal welfare. You know, some of them are for it, most are against it. Some of them believe, or will delve into the propaganda of, you know, yes, it is supporting conservation, where you know it's not supporting conservation at all. Trophy hunting does not support conservation at all. How does killing a lion or a giraffe and then taking a selfie support conservation?
yeah, it doesn't.
Congratulations, congratulations! You've just killed a 14-foot giraffe with a high-powered rifle while it was stationary and nibbling on a tall tree, trying to have
Yeah,
a feed.
no, yeah, it's not acceptable, and it's truly
Absolutely not.
twisted,
And
man.
it's, I mean, wildlife crime, as far as I'm concerned, it's right up there with child abuse.
Yeah, let's touch on that. So obviously you've brought into obviously the previous host, the bro Sam, and that and his subject line and what he's been through. So when you obviously, because you've watched the that episode and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So when you were watching that episode, that reminded you and brought up feelings and emotions for you. Obviously, you're a massive advocate for these animals and stuff. So that's kind of what triggered your way of thinking was what you're passionate about exposing and getting out there.
yeah, it's really, um, I mean, well, let's be honest, conservation is 40 years behind at times,
Yeah.
and it's that's not the fault of any one person. It's just people get stuck in their ways, and that's how it's it.
It's the system, isn't it? Because I did hear you saying, around the sexual abuse stuff, and then obviously the comparison of the animal welfare and stuff. You said,
Yeah,
some are for it and some are against it. So when you're saying
yeah,
some are for it and some against it, you're meaning the system, aren't you? Like the officials, the government, the line. Because I guess when you really delve quite deep into it, I'd assume some of these people that work in governmental organizations and stuff, like I think we both know for a fact that there's a lot of evidence kind of supporting that child abuse and all this twisted shit gets brought up on these people. I'm not saying it's just them because that's
yeah.
incorrect, but it wouldn't surprise me now that you've kind of brought the subject line into discussion that these elite people and the government and people with millions, trillions of dollars would be doing this type of sick shit to animals as well.
Yeah, and it's predominantly, look, poaching. There's abalone poaching that happens here in Australia.
Yeah.
There's poaching of bird eggs that happens over in Europe,
Wow.
but the majority of it is um, based in South Africa. And you know, there's multiple instances where there's an organized anti-poaching ring, and it's the bottom people, the people that are trying to, you know, make a living, um, that get arrested. Now, you may say, well, bad luck. That's awful, which it is. But it is out of desperation, and we need to really bring awareness to the fact that, and like I'm talking poorest of the poor. Like you think, I've never been to New Zealand, but if you think of, the slums of Los Angeles, that's how poor these people are trying to make a living.
So they're
And
doing
it's
it.
it's
They're doing it for the motive and agenda of getting money to survive, to feed their families, to
that's
eat.
that's all they want to do.
Yeah, and then
And
you've got the other, and I guess that's what you're saying. Yeah, so you've got these people that are doing it for pure desperation to fill their stomachs and feed their families and survive, but then you've got these elite type people
you've
that
got
fly
middle management,
over.
and then you've got the middle management, and then you've got all the corrupt officials from the top down who
Yeah,
are pocketing all the cash. And aside from the poor buggers who are trying to feed their kids, it's usually middle management that get the sentence. And I mean, the average sentence will be what, 30 years for
oh
someone in
wow,
their mid 30s. Now that's pathetic. That's pathetic. I mean, if I was arrested for animal poaching or something of that nature, I'm in my late 30s. If I get 30 years, there's plenty of time for me while I'm inside to recruit others so that when they get out, they can go out and recruit others. And it's just a cycle. It's just a consistent cycle that never ends, and it's got to stop.
yeah, and I hear
But
that, and I guess that's I think that's where we should kind of head in the direction of talking of like if people are watching this intrigued to what you're saying and what you're sharing with us, what can people do?
well, what people can do is, if they're interested in this topic, they can contact me via LinkedIn or Facebook. I'll be able to let them know, okay, this is what is going on over in the UK or in Southern Africa. Um, I can share tons of information. There's numerous articles that I post on LinkedIn about the various rhino poaching um, and other wildlife crime. I've got 26,500 followers on LinkedIn. 70-80% of them follow me for the wildlife stuff that I post, which is huge. But we need to do more, and we need to not only just have that conversation, but we need to start exposing the corruption
Yeah, no, I'm
with
hearing that definitely, and
the
you're
government. And
obviously you've got your fingers in those pies that are starting to get the reality of what's actually going on to these poor animals out there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's epic, man. That's epic work you're doing, because obviously we've chatted quite a lot, and we've never actually had this discussion. So I definitely wasn't prepared this afternoon to delve into something that is very, uncommon to me. And I guess it really enlightens me to, and I'm always very curious too, with this type of stuff, because it's things that you don't, I guess sitting over here in New Zealand, I wouldn't ever even you see it on the news and movies and stuff very vaguely, but you never really think about it the way you've put it, with lions being put in cages and people going and flying over there, and tigers, lions, all that, giraffes, all that type of stuff. It's really fucked up, excuse my language,
yeah,
but it's totally twisted shit. And I guess that's what I want to continue keeping this theme on the podcast, as in straight to the point, because we are getting straight to the point with this real life stuff, that your average person, like myself, won't be expecting this type of stuff. But it's
five
what's going on.
5 years ago, I had no idea, and look, I've been in touch with many organizations. I've helped out many organizations, and I'm still learning 5 years on.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning from people who have been in the conservation area for 40 years.
Wow.
So, and they're still learning as well because they're learning off me. It's a tool, it's a give and take.
Yeah, definitely.
What I don't know in conservation, I can make up for in marketing and technology. And they can say, this is what we think about conservation. This is the real deal. This is not propaganda. This is straight to the point.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I really respect that. And I really respect you jumping on and having a chat with me about this. So obviously, you know, you've got your LinkedIn, your Facebook, you do have Instagram, obviously, too. So where can people find you if they want to get in touch on this specific topic or even just
Um,
have a chat with you in general?
Look, all three of those options, just search for me. My Instagram is m_Reilly, Reilly. Actually, I think there's two underscores in that. But look, I'm sure that if people contact you, then you can forward them on
Yeah,
as
I'll
well.
definitely I'll drop all your links and all that stuff with the
Um,
podcast.
and I know that we don't have a lot of time, but I just want to say mental health is not my area, but I recognize it's an issue. I've never been to New Zealand, and after the discussion that you had with Sam in the first episode, I think I think he's doing amazing work. I think you're doing amazing work. And well, in terms of teenage suicide, look, um, I think for anyone listening or watching this, and I'll try not to get too emotional, but for anyone listening or watching this, um, go to your local animal shelter, not a breeder, but go to your local animal shelter, donate $10 and walk around the kennels, walk around where the cats are, because I've never seen someone pat a dog or scruffle a cat without a smile on their face. And when you walk, even if you've got no intention of adopting a furry friend, you walk out that door feeling like $1,000,000 because you know a cat or a dog loves itself. Yeah, a, a cat or a dog loves you more than it loves itself. And that's it. Like, I know people who have got plenty of pets, and some of them are, some of them prefer cats, others prefer dogs. I'm more of a dog person myself because I'm allergic to cats. But
That makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah. But just go to your local animal rescue shelter and
Mm.
make a donation and feel good about yourself. Because that animal, when that animal goes to bed that night, someone paid attention to me. Someone actually noticed that I was in pain. And that cat or that dog will walk around 3 times in a circle, as they usually do, lie down, have the best sleep of their life, and have hope. Because some of these poor animals, they're in there for years, literally 2 or 3 years. It's especially with the pandemic, and with restrictions lifted, people, abandon the dog or the companion, which I totally understand. Everyone gets lonely, but a dog is for life, not just for a pandemic.
No, and we've got a
So
dog, and my partner's very passionate, and so am I, obviously, with our dog and animals in general. And so this has been a very power, and your statement around going to the animal shelters and petting, and that, you're exactly right, man. It's really given a new and different perspective for me, and yeah, I just really appreciate you coming on and having this discussion with me.
That's not an issue. That's no problem at all. I'm look, if this is just another platform for me to help get my message out there, and also to get your message out.
Yeah, man. It's just,
Um,
yeah, it's an
so
amazing
for
perception.
anyone who's down in the blues, or feeling like they're about to give up, or they're stuck in a rut, or they're on the drugs, or they're on the drink, and they can't get out of whatever hollow that they're stuck in, go and scruffle a dog for $10 and feel good about yourself, because you will be amazed about how you feel. And you'll walk out that door going, I don't need drugs. I don't need drink. I need a dog.
It's awesome, man. Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing all of this. It means a lot to me, and we'll definitely stay in touch and contact. And obviously, guys, if you resonate or you just want to see what the brother Michael is doing, please find them on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I think you've got a YouTube too, don't you, bro? So we'll chuck all those links down for everyone to follow.
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. I've yet to post any content. I created my YouTube channel, I think 4 years ago. There's no videos on
Oh,
it.
sweet. To be continued.
Yeah, watch this space.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome, brother. Thanks for jumping on.
No problems, mate.